What's happening, y'all? This is Avidan, and welcome back to the channel. Today, we are going to talk about this tweet that Jermaine Dupri has put out, and is basically referring to what is the goal of becoming an independent artist. He wrote, "I'm a little lost. Can somebody tell me what the goal of being an independent artist is today? Because all the things that people are chasing is what major artists do. What's the thing that indie artists do that make it special?" Now, there's quite a few things I want to touch on. Things, there's three things I really want to go over, but the foundational point that I want to make first before those three things is the fact that being independent does not equate to playing at a low scale. Being independent does not equate to I just want a small audience. I just want small takeaways. I just want small profits in what I'm doing. And the idea that being independent means you want to play the game small is absurd. The truth of the matter is, independent being likened to you have done less or you're not as exposed as everybody else is only due to the culture of what music has become. It's only well, what music was rather. It's only due to the culture, the fact that when you went independent and you had to do everything by yourself at one point in history, I want to go over a few things. At one point, you didn't get as much exposure. Not everyone knew who you was, and you didn't get much of a push, not only from a regional standpoint, not only from a national standpoint, from a global standpoint when you was a major artist. So when it comes to being an independent artist, independent just by itself just means you're independent. Indie. It doesn't mean that you don't want more. It just means that you're independent. Crooked Eyes said it really good right here, which goes into my first point. He says freedom, and I'm not against majors as long as the deal is beneficial for everyone. But being indie is the freedom to choose the what, when, where, and how. And I'm going to even add even the why. Now, one of the first things that indie artists can benefit from is autonomy. What Crooked Eye just said, our ability to choose when and where, how. We get to choose everything when it comes to content. We get to choose when it goes out, why it goes out, how it goes out, who it gets uploaded to, what distribution companies are we working with. We choose all of that. We get to choose the price of the digital album, the physical album, the vinyls. We get to choose the prices of the merch. We get to choose all of that. That is what independent artists are looking for. So if we have all those options, what warm-blooded independent artist do you know wants to play that at a small scale? Anyone who is trying to turn this into a business where they can live off it full time and not have to go back to a 9 to 5 does want a strong takeaway. Nobody wants to say, oh, well, I'm just clocking in and checking for somebody else. And the reason why a lot of independent artists go in the route of they're going independent is because when it comes to major labels, it's almost like that employee and employer relationship. Someone else gets to decide all of your moves. You sacrifice control for convenience. And for the most part, when you are an independent artist, you have more of a partnership with other labels. You have more of a partnership with other artists where you have, which my second point, more leverage in the discussions when it comes to the song creation and even further collaborations. So when we are saying an independent artist is like, well, more so when we are when we're alluding what is so special about being an independent artist, it's the freedom, as Crooked Eye just said. Someone else just said, hold up, let me go into what they said. Ransom, he said, own their masters, own their names, likeness, own their creative direction, own their freedom. See, we don't have to wait for someone to tell us when we can release a song. See, album, mixtape, or tour, interview, etc. We do what we want when we want. Someone else just said fried chicken in my way. He said, kind of wild question, rhetorical even. If anyone understands the importance of being independent and not having to function under the major slash corporate umbrella, I'd imagine you would. And I don't want to skip over what Jermaine Dupri actually said to Crooked Eye and even to FUD Hunters. To Crooked Eye, he said, so you're saying freedom is the perk. And to FUD Hunters, which said no one overseeing or controlling them, he says that's special. So I don't think, and this is just a guess, I don't think Jermaine Dupri is even able to relate to the goal of ownership because he already owns something. So because he's the owner, he's in the position to want to attract the people to work for him, to attract people so he can make more money as well. This is just a guess. I could be off. But I think he's more so speaking from that position and not speaking from the position from somebody who is on their way to being a full-fledged owner where they don't have to worry about, is this check going to make it for the next month? And that's the next thing I want to actually touch on. The biggest thing is profit scaling. That's one of the biggest things independent artists have in their control that they don't have when they're under a major label. When you have your own Bandcamp or your own website where you're selling your music, you get to decide. Matter of fact, I'll even say your own website. You get to decide the following. You get to decide the digital album sales, the physical album sales, the vinyl album sales, the merch. You get to decide all of that. That is under your control. So if you wanted to, let's just say, let's go with the physical albums, right? You was doing a sale and getting all your physical albums, and physical albums wise, you have made, let's give a good indie number, 400 sales, which at $15, that'll be about $6,000 per month, give or take the deductions from any producers that you may have a deal with where they get a royalty per song, or if you pay them off for the exclusive beat, then you don't have to worry about that. But let's just say 6,000, just a roundabout, give or take, right? That is just physical. And let's just say you did about 200 in digital album sales. So that's an extra 3,000 on top of the 6,000. So that's $9,000. And let's just say you were selling the vinyl at $50 a piece, right? Let's just give it an easy roundabout, and I'm probably being generous with that $50. $50 times, let's just say 50 people bought, right? 50 times 50, that is 2,500. Do we not see the potential in this? In all that, you have made well over $10,000 in 1 month going independent. And watch this. I used the 400, and let's say we did about 400, 200, 600, 650 people. Less than 1,000 people, and you've made over $10,000 that month potentially. That is why independent artists are going in the direction of becoming independent, because the scale to become financially free, the scale to do this at your own terms, happens a lot quicker. Shout out to the people who are out in Texas even, because, and I'm giving big love to the Texas artists now, because I was just talking about this with my homeboy the other day. There are a lot of artists in Texas right now who, they don't rap nearly as much, but they got businesses that is paying for them way more than rap ever did. And they were independent artists when they first started out. The beautiful thing about becoming independent, you get to build a household name under your terms. And 9 times out of 10, when people know that you are building a household name for yourself and you're not under the corporate umbrella, there's a little bit more trust that goes your way. There's a little bit more of a leniency of, you know, let me go check out this dude's music. Let me go check out this chick's music real quick. So when we talk about what is the benefit of going independent, it's autonomy, leverage, and price scaling, profit scaling rather. You have those things under your control now when you are an independent artist. It's just up to you on how far that goes. And I think everyone would rather bet on themselves than try to rely on a label. So that's all I got to say. With that said, if you don't know, my name is Avidan Smith, and I help creatives like you find your unique sound and live a purpose-driven life. If you're not already, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and most of all, you make sure you share this with a friend. Peace, y'all. Check out the videos on the left.